So, in the words of Martin Luther King, everybody can be great because everyone can serve. Lila and Gabby were the winners of last year's essay contest, and they're going to introduce the winners of this year's essay contest.
Thank you to everyone who submitted an essay for our contest this year with the prompt of how does service honor the legacy of Dr. King, empower individuals, and impact communities.
The winners are Emily Mullins and Carsyn Gildenhouse. Honoring a true hero. As I was walking into the VA hospital recently to go see a dear friend, a large board covering the wall caught my eye. As I stepped closer, I realized the board was covered with the pictures and names of military members who died in service of our country. An achy feeling crossed my body, but it made me realize what service can ultimately look like when we strive to make our actions, thoughts, and ideas help and support others. Just as veterans have modeled the meaning of service, Martin Luther King Jr. holiday is once again upon us to remind us what service looks like, and if we engage in it, what it can do for individuals and communities around us. There's no doubt that Martin Luther King Jr. is a great man in the eyes of history. He changed the world by leading marches, speaking out about social justice, and creating positive change without the use of violence. His I Have a Dream speech painted a picture of his vision of what a just world should look like. But Martin Luther King's words, everybody can be great because everybody can serve, reminds us that his vision is only possible if we all pitch in. We can get out and talk about social justice and ways to improve it. We can give a helping hand to the less fortunate. We can work non-violently to encourage peace for all Americans and even the world. We can stand up against racism and not quit even when people tell us we can't do it. We can join Martin Luther King Jr. as true heroes. This is the way we honor Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King not only showed us how to be people of service, he reminded us of a big danger when fighting against injustice. He said that when we seek to create freedom, peace, and fairness, that we must not drink from the cup of hatred and bitterness. He knew that when the world strikes to keep the weak and vulnerable down, that it becomes tempting to strike back in the same violent ways. Martin Luther King Jr. empowers us to stand up for the right thing, but in a way that has lasting social change. For example, we don't fight bullying with bullying. We can stand up for others in unfair situations, but not be unfair ourselves. Martin Luther King's dedication to service has made our country and the world a better place. Our communities closer, safer, and our laws are more fair. Racism and injustice still exist though. So as students of Martin Luther King, we must continue to sniff out situations in our own communities that give everyone a fair shake. We dedicate this one day to honor Martin Luther King Jr., but we need to make sure we honor his legacy the other 364 days a year. We can keep making big strides in keeping his dream alive by remembering equality, diversity, and social justice, like Martin Luther King Jr. stood for. He is a true hero in my eyes. Thank you.
Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So what steps am I willing to take to make a difference? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. fought for what he believed was right. He led marches and gave over 2,500 speeches about inequality. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. left an impact on this world. Everybody has a chance to make an impact, serve, and empower those around them. What can I do? What can you do? What can we do to help empower others and impact our world? I'm a 6th grader at St. George's School. I go straight from school to dance, from dance to my house. I eat a quick dinner, work on homework, and go to bed. That is what I do every day. I don't have time to serve. How do I have time to serve? How do I have time to make a difference? Maybe service isn't always a grand gesture. I have never led a march. I have never led a protest. I have never given a speech to over 500 people, but maybe service can be my attitude. Maybe being kind to someone, I can impact their day. Maybe it's the littlest things that I can do every day that'll make the biggest difference. So what can I do to help those in our community? Maybe it's as simple as holding the door for someone or giving them a smile to make their day. I can eat lunch with someone who's eating alone, or I can check on a friend if they're having a bad day. I can look for ways to be nice and build people up. These acts do not take time out of my day, so I should and could be doing them every day. Whether you are at home or at school, impacting someone's life is not hard. You don't need to be smart or funny to make an impact on someone's life. You can have an attitude of service. Many influential people started out as nobodies. There was nothing that made them special or important, but they chose to have an attitude of service, to make a small choice that impacted the people directly around them. Being kind not only impacts people, but it empowers them to pass it along. Serving others with daily kindness honors Dr. King and all those like him, people who choose an attitude of service. Some people of the world's greatest gestures were started by one small act. A small act done every day can add up to something big. So what steps are we willing to take to impact yours and someone else's life? What will your first steps be?
So the winners of the contest got $50 apiece, and we do have this really awesome gigantic check. So I thought it was a good photo opportunity for John Carter. So I'm going to let our last year's winners hand it over. Hey, Carsyn. And with that, I'm going to dismiss you to C-Block, and you two can stay because we're going to want to take pictures of you. Thank you. Have a good day.